Keen.
Hi.
Oh, you look like you had some some good times.
It was the weekend.
Nimeshout.
Umeshout sana.
Nicheze chini.
Please.
So something interesting happened. I don't know. It's interesting, confusing at the same time, because it's one of the things that I feel like we should be able to maybe talk about, give me like a different perspective of it. So apparently a lady in a court session, aliambia judge, told the judge that she wanted to give out her kids as a present to the ex, because she was apparently getting married to a new guy, and the guy was not interested in having these kids from the first marriage. And for me, I was thinking, what in the name of black Jesus is going on?
Well, some people, Conchita, some people produce children as gifts.
Allah. Ingeli gani? Ingeli ya what now?
No, but on a more serious note, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone who would want to willingly to give out their children, or rather their child, to even another spouse. It has always been a struggle, isn't it?
It is always a struggle, but I don't know. You tell me, when it comes to blending family, what are these struggles that people do experience that they don't get even a chance to talk about? I'm sure you work on experience. What is it?
Mimi niko. If there were awarding certificates, most probably I would have one or two. But yeah, true. I've been in situation of blending family, and I can also say that even in my current relationship, my marriage, we are having such kind of an arrangement. But blending family is very complicated.
I don't think it's for everyone.
I think a lot of people assume at the beginning that it's just easy. It's children, so the children should do what we basically want. On one hand, it's true. On the other hand, it doesn't, because you find either one parent overcompensating on one side to please the other, or it's not properly planned. In this city, unfortunately, when people get to know one another, they hardly get chance to know one another.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean, they get to know one another differently.
True.
So the missing link of really sitting down and laying down foundation and talking about how you want your family to be, being cognizant of the fact that you have a child somewhere else, and you're trying to bring that together, get lost completely in the whole spectrum, because first is the dopamine effect that comes in. So
it's the what now?
Dopamine effect.
Mjaluo. Tafadhali tunaomba fafanua.
Kale ka hormone ya kafuraha. And it tends to cloud the judgment, not to get to the real issues.
Okay.
Because I can guarantee you, people tend to lie a lot about. It starts from dating. Let's start from there. Like my example. When I started dating and having a child,
yes,
you get, and I think I must have mentioned it before, you get this person on your first date, you go out drinking coffee and all that, and the first thing after introduction, what do you do and all those things, and you mention I'm a father of a girl, and
he's a single dad.
Wow,
hala
nice. And you start asking questions. Oh, so do you have a child? No, I don't have a child, but I love children. I mean, really, how does that work? But
wait, Keen, I have to just say, there are those people who actually do love children, with or without children.
True. But I can guarantee you, loving a child that is not your own, with another person who is basically a stranger, I can guarantee a lot of time we pretend that we do.
One of also my biggest fear is the fact that I know for a fact falling in love with someone's child doesn't take it's not an overnight thing.
It's not.
It's a gradual growth.
Yeah.
So when I see someone acting or being nice, let's say to a child, I'm usually like, okay, so for how long are you going to keep up with this facade?
Yeah, but you see also that's also the other problem. that it goes both ways. So you have overcompensation on one hand,
Yeah.
and there's also high expectations. You know, at the beginning, two parents meeting one another, or actually in this case, two parents,
Yeah.
one with a child or different children and all that. In their minds, the first priority is
My
children,
child.
my offspring.
My children.
So even in that relationship, as you continue to get to know one another, the priority of the children become a measuring gauge, which shouldn't be the case, because most of the time we miss out of the character of the other party,
Yeah.
or even wrongfully judging them because of that expectation. So for example, mi na expect utreat mtoto wangu poa, you
Yeah.
know, hii mambo ya kunichunia chunia mtoto
I'm
hakuna,
sorry.
you know. You know, and most of the time utapata somebody literally goes into it, and in the long run you can also destroy a child. You know,
Sure.
that overcompensation, you want to please the other party,
Yep.
as opposed to first of all getting it right at the beginning.
But what about this thing whereby, like, and I've seen that, and this is what I'm talking about. I don't understand why someone has to be given an ultimatum of, like, by the time, this is something I usually say, by the time you get involved with a certain individual,
Yeah.
and they've told you that they already have kids, definitely when you're making that decision of, I'm going to be with this person, it's not just the person. Their kids or children or child is part of them. But why is it that people have this urge of giving ultimatums, like uyo noko, instead of just like bringing them together? Is it from the spouses, insecurity, ama kuna wenye tu wanataka mbegu safi? I don't understand.
What do you mean? One party saying, I want you, but
I don't want your kid. And then the other party is like, okay, why? I don't get it.
Well, again, it goes back to the starting point. When you meet somebody who is a single parent, and you also are a parent on the other side, and you're trying to bring it together,
Yeah.
there must be purposeful discussion, very painful, honest, brutal discussion between the two of you.
Yeah.
Look each other in the eye clearly and set the pace from that point. Because if you miss out those steps,
Yeah.
then you end up with those situations. In between, nakuja na story, mimi, 2 years down the line now,
Yeah.
the kid can always come and visit and all that, but now we want to settle in. Then I start having second thoughts. Why? Because we didn't have this kind of conversation. And that means you didn't have the opportunity to say, Mimi, I'm not comfortable with that. I've seen cases in the past where a lady gets a child, or was in a relationship, he has a child, 1 or 2 children, and moves to another relationship. And this guy convinced this lady to leave these kids somewhere else, maybe with the mother and something. And
I
this
don't kid me up anyways.
now, blindly, the lady accepts and gets into this other marriage.
No,
and
Kiachana?
Now, you get. Now, kids are, I know of a case where now these kids are older. We're talking of some of them are now in their mid-40s, some 50 years, 50-year-old kind of people.
Yeah.
And these people can tell you how they suffered along the way.
Traumatized
The missing
kids.
link of a mother, the feeling of rejection.
Yeah.
So in a blended setup, it brings, there's a lot to consolidate. There must be purposefulness and honesty with the children.
Yeah.
But I think one of the mistakes we make naturally is that we prioritize the children without prioritizing us when you get into a new relationship.
Sure.
Because of the natural fear. Anabievaje na mtoi wangu, unajua mimi mtoto wangu anakuja kwanza. You're forgetting that you come first, because if you lay the foundation and you start having those conversations, you are comfortable with one another.
Yeah.
The kids will align, but also talking along the way.
True. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like when it comes to blended family, one of the most or the biggest issues that usually happens is that the other parent is not given like the 411, like, listen, so this is the situation that's going to happen. Currently, I'm with this person, and I feel like it's high time our child, gets to meet this person and see how it is. Because from your angle, at least you, maybe both of you living,
Yeah.
together, huyu amekuja na mtoto, mwingine amekuja na mtoto. But there are other people, like, for example, myself, whereby it's the opposite. It's more of like, now, we have started a family here. So now we have this kid.
And you've not started. So
and me have not started. Yes.
Yeah.
So
and
now
they're looking into integrating
exactly.
this child, but then you get the missing link. I get what you're saying, because it in my case it's different because there's nobody else to consult.
Sure.
Yeah. But in your case is a totally different ballgame, because there's a lot to consult.
There is a lot to consult.
I was reading an article about the same. Somebody was trying to advise how how best you can blend it.
Yeah.
And in his argument, or rather his points, were geared towards communication.
Sure.
There's a lot communication and expectation. So two things that happens is that you have first children. Children are different, just like any other person.
Yeah.
Some are not quick in embracing the other party.
Yes.
And along the way, the other party might feel rejected.
Exactly.
You get, and that can turn out to be a very strenuous situation and relationship.
Yeah.
That there's that one angle. Then you also have these situations whereby I'm now missing that point.
Wait, there's one that I know for it's more of like you find that the other party will try and like love bomb the child.
Yeah.
Overcompensate and all that. So that it can be seem like, yes, this person can be able to adjust, but after a while they pull out. There's also that. And I've seen a lot of people that I know, it has been in that situation whereby the partner they actually get in the beginning, they were amazing with this other child coming in. Like, oh no, let's get this for him or her, let's do A, B, C, D. But once, like, it is confirmed, like, now, Sasa, you are the miss or the missus, things start falling apart. It's more of like, oh, well, I mean, okay, see, they can also be like this. Now, the only question I usually ask is, when another child comes from that individual family, where is this other child going to be placed at? And I have seen in situations whereby once this majority of the time, once this other person if they come without a kid and they tend to have the kid, the priority is no longer balanced for both kids. Inakwanga sasa tuko hapa. We are the one here. So focus shifts from the other child to this. And what that makes kids do is more of like readjust to a situation that might be confusing for them.
Yeah.
So it's more of like, and I've seen kids rejecting going to the other parent because they know. They're like, it wasn't how it was initially. I'm just going there and then this is going to happen. So napata mtoto nakwambia, hapana. Then say nakwa, you're the one who is influencing the kid not to come to my place. Yeah. It is your fault. You're a toxic father or mother. Yeah. Like, but the thing is, these kids also say, like, it was a blended family in the beginning. Like, okay, everything is good and all that. But what happens when, like, maybe I have another step brother or sister in this situation? Things actually shift. So how do people get to balance that?
It's complicated. I mean, the most complicated part of parenting is when you are trying to blend a family.
Yeah.
Because one, you're trying to blend yourself with another partner.
True.
That's one. And that's the easy part. Because the two of you can always agree and disagree and find a way of solving your issues. But then when now it involves the children, it's a different ballgame. Because one, and I've seen this happen a lot with male parents who are dating single mothers with children. There is the expectation of, the first thing you want to do. She has a male child and all that. Football.
Okay. Suppose they like cricket.
It's a good thing.
Or they like come on.
It's a good thing because it's an effort to try to get close to this child.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But remember, coming into this child's space,
Yeah.
This child was also greatly involved and had a strong relationship with the biological parent.
Yeah.
Getting into that space will always have a destabilization.
Sure.
So it has to be, somebody has to find a way of slowly integrating where you find, like in what you were trying to say, you find that block.
There's a struggle.
There's a struggle.
Yeah.
The overcompensation and all now, the frustration, and sometimes somebody just disappears all of a sudden because of that. It's because the other party is also not trying hard enough to help the child integrate. Because watoto when another child comes into play,
Yeah.
naturally you feel you are destabilized, and that attention
Shifts.
shifts.
Yeah.
So even in a blended family, as it doesn't matter how well blended that family gets, you have to find time and hang out with your own child. You know, alone time, even if it's just quiet time. Because children tend to integrate at different stages. There are those when they are younger, they integrate quickly.
Yeah.
But now when they're now older, with their own minds, they can,
Yeah.
you know, a child would easily tell you, I don't like this person, or just tell the other person, I don't like you. And all
I have a
And then
feeling my
as a
child will be
parent-
like that.
as a parent, then you get frustrated.
Yeah.
And sometimes you try to force the child to like the person,
Which is wrong.
which is wrong.
Shouldn't force kids to like people. If they don't like them, they don't like them. They will adjust. That's what I usually say. There's always room for growth. Because you see, at the end of the day, it's more of like I usually feel like we underestimate our kids a lot. Like once given a chance, of course, when you're what about like yeah. But those ones will be like, okay, fine, this is a situation. What is the biggest issue? And that's the thing, like you said, is more of like when bringing a blended family in, it's that trying to replace the other parent, whereby you're forcing this person to be this person's mother, or you're forcing this person to be this person's father.
Yeah.
Like, call him dad, call him mom. Bruh, no. Especially with these kids.
It's true.
You don't force kids to call them, oh, this is my mom. Call this, go to your mom. My friend, these kids know who their parents are.
Well, Conchita, it depends at what age the child is. I can tell you. Both works quite well. If you integrate a child much earlier at toddler stage, in first stage and all that, it becomes easy for them to integrate easily and get to that point. But if it's a child who's already, aware of him or herself, then it requires a lot more guidance and patience.
Sure.
And the efforts from both ends, and especially if it is a male or a female coming into play.
Yeah.
Lazima ujue ni age gani, because a teenager, you're not going to force that teenager.
You cannot. You're not supposed to force them.
Even a child who's like 7 years,
Yeah.
they would tell you no.
That's not
Because
my
you have to
father. That's not
remember,
my
huyu mtoto amezoea
It's
this
certain.
parent
Yes.
for a long time.
But those when we're talking for those people whereby
Yeah.
both parents are in the
Yeah.
picture. Yeah.
So now, to answer your question, when I lost that point, you're talking about a situation whereby the other parent is now moving on,
Yeah.
and you are not yet, maybe, and now there is this child that also the other parent want to integrate into that setup.
Yeah.
It's a broader based kind of blended setup.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know what happens, but I think the best approach sometimes is there must be open conversation at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You must be involved. You must be informed. You must be consulted. Because
Well,
you
not everyone will agree with that.
I agree, but you see,
Yeah.
it is ego. It's only
is
ego
ego.
that makes us not go and have this conversation. Because at the end of the day, if we don't do it, then the child becomes destabilized.
True.
And
Because
becomes a problem.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is very complicated between people who are already alive, as opposed to maybe you're coming from a totally divorced situation with no.
Man, I'm totally divorced.
But you're co-parenting, so quite a challenge.
It is a challenge for me because you see, from a very young age, I knew like, listen, I'm not going back to this individual or anything like that. I had to start preparing my child's mind, whereby one day you will have an extra mommy from daddy's side, and you might have another daddy from mommy's side. We spoke about dating and all that. I have dated someone who was like, once I start dating you, your child is mine. I don't want anything for her to do with the father. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
Well,
I mean, like, it really doesn't work like that because this child knows, not unless the father is in a situation to say, I don't want anything to do with this kid, then you'll be like, well, okay.
yeah.
But I had to have a conversation to prepare this kid's mind because I knew for a fact the kind of a person that I have could not extend me the courtesy of like, listen, I'm going to be A, B, C, D. I am going to introduce this person to. Everything was pa, 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 pa. Now I had to break it down. And for me, I feel like it's easier extending that courtesy, like, listen, I'm actually introducing this person. This is the person I'm going to be with. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be in this, unajua, just, I hope mtueta kwa saa and all that. Because you see, when the kids, if especially they're very young and something else is like, they're very confused. Like, what's going on? So they have questions. Like, so, okay, so this is my mommy now. You're not going to be my mommy? So this is, you understand? You're like, let's start afresh. Well, welcome to another TED Talk as a parent.
Yes.
Yes. But
and I've been there.
Yes.
We have to start afresh.
You have to start afresh. But it's more.
Introduce a new person.
Exactly. But now the biggest fear that people don't understand is as much as you're trying to be this cordial and blending and all that, I don't know this person. I don't know how they are with my kid. The best I can be able to do is blindly trust that this person has made a right decision and trust the instinct that, okay, the person that they've chosen to be with, they're not going to be, mean or cruel towards, the child. And that is the biggest fear, especially when it comes to blending a family with someone that you really don't know who they are. It's constant of like, okay, are they going to hurt my kid? Okay, how are they going to be like? The fear.
Yeah.
Then
it's a natural fear, actually.
It is. Then when you just like, be like, okay, let me trust this.
It is difficult.
It's crazy. It's scary.
It's very scary. It's one of those things that scares, because even couples that intend to blend at their initial stages, at the back of their minds, it's always, as I said, evaluation is based on how you're treating the other child.
But
yes. Which sometimes becomes disastrous when people are pretending.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This article, they were advising, if you, for example, if you want to get it a little bit right, you have to take your time. You have to take your time. One of the things you have to do is have those intimate conversation. Spend time with these children.
Yeah.
Both of them. When you're blending them, you have to create some bit of rules and boundaries.
Yeah, for all the kids,
for the children.
Yeah.
Don't be the first person to inflict punishment.
Yeah.
Especially if this child is not
yours.
Your child.
Yeah.
At the
like
initial
stages, I know.
Let the disciplining be done by the biological parent in the relationship until the child is comfortable with you. At the same time, also try to understand, be observant.
Yeah.
What kind of a child is this? Is he a quick learner?
Slow learner?
Is there a child an introvert? Child is an extrovert? All those plays a great role.
Yeah.
And then respect the other partner.
Rule number
that
one
is the key to all of it. Respect is paramount at the end of it.
Yeah. Which I feel like it's something that a lot of people need to like share with us the experiences, because we are basically talking from one perspective. We've taken from a different perspective. But the thing that I know for a fact is there are also amazing people who, to be quite honest, the kids will just automatically fall in love with them. They'll be like, this is such an amazing human being. Again, we did say not everyone is meant to be a decent parent, that those kids whereby they will come and they'll find so much affection from this other partner more than the actual biological parent. True. And they end up falling in love with them. And that is perfectly okay. Like, you should be happy when your kid is in love with both parents or both steps. And, because for me, I would really want to be in a situation whereby I'm in school and I have stepmama, dad, stepdad, mom, kind of like, support. Support.
That's selfish love.
I am selfish.
Too much love for one person.
I know, but it says at the end of the day, it's more of like this child will know that, because one thing I always say is, I would really want my child to be walked down the aisle with all the parents. God willing, they'll be there. So if it's the biological father and the stepfather, myself and the stepmother, walk her down the aisle. That is my dream. Anyway, okay.
Well, in the world of today, she can be walked down by several stepmothers.
Oh, I'll be so glad. Oh, no, you're not coming to that. So I believe that we will be able to take this for part 2 because this conversation is wild.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's amazing.
So guys, remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. That is at Single Parenthood. And share with us your experiences. Please be part of this amazing community.
Conversation.
Ciao. If this is the first time listening to us, welcome. Let's talk about how single parenthood life is affecting you and share your experiences. Also, don't forget to rate us and review on Apple Podcasts, comment on YouTube, and share on that Spotify link. Find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcast. Our socials are Single Parenthood all across the board. Ciao! See you on the next episode.